you need to consider is what is the general shape of the fender. We're trying to make this thing look good from about 10 feet. So we're not caring about the small ripples in that in the panel. We want to make sure the perimeter of the fender, the style lines, and the general shape are appropriate for the style of the fender. So what can you tell me is wrong with the style of this one? Is most of the damage in the front half or the back half? Back half. So everything from here forward looks pretty good. We're going to leave that. But back here, we've got some major structural problems. This back edge of the fender kicks in the middle. So that's wrong. What else is wrong?
The body line.
So the body lines or the style lines in the fender are also messed up right here. So we need to fix those. The order to fix all this is important. Where do we begin? Most of you guys want to take a hammer and beat the tar out of the dent, right?
Yes.
No? We don't begin there. We begin with the edges first. So edges are most important. We begin with the edges first. Then we move inward to the style lines, like right here. And when we're done, we move to the middle of the dent in between the edges and the style lines. So let's see how that works, all right? So again, we're looking for, what it looks good from a big angle, like not 10 feet. So here we can take this point and just least invasive method of fixing this is going to be to kind of bend the fender, get the curvature back in. Got a little bit of a line right there. You see that buckle in it? Get our line generally back to where we want it to be. When you have to hit it with a hammer, it's going to modify it quite a bit. It's going to harden the metal. Okay, so we got our edge right. What about up here? Is there a problem with this?
Oh, yes.
Okay, so in this case right here, we may use the bench. I'm going to go with a cross peen right here. And we want to roll most of that sheet metal out of it. So we'll put a dolly behind there. We'll straighten this edge out of it. This is a style line right here. Is it damaged?
Yes.
No. That's normal. That's the normal shape there. Next to it is, down here is, okay? So we're going to work our way. We got our edge pretty close. We're now going to work to this style line. So locate the style line on the back side. You see it right here?
Yeah.
So we can use a wide chisel like this one. I'll hold that up right there. We want this angle to be about right there. And I'm going to put this chisel right on this style line right here. And we'll use a roughing hammer or a small sledge to drive it. So if you notice, you can see the chisel mark in there. So let's see if that helped us on our style line out here. Did that help us much?
Yeah.
2 hits with a hammer at the right point is starting to improve the shape, generally. We're not worried about the inside here yet. Start at the edges, work our way toward the inside. Okay? So we can work this line a little bit more and go with a smaller chisel like this one. That gives us a little bit cleaner line right here. So now the style line's pretty close. The last step, we work in between them. So we go between these 2 style lines and work this line right here. What would you hit it with? Pick a hammer, any hammer. Pick a dolly. Pick any tool. What would you hit it with? Okay. We could go with this. There's one hammer missing. Grab it right here. Remember the hammer we introduced the other day? Anybody remember what it's called?
Oh, yeah.
A dead blow hammer. So dead blow, when you're dealing with a real low crown like this area of the fender, not a bad tool of choice. So we can use the bench kind of as a dolly. A little bit of a tweak there. The idea is we want to reduce the stress on the panel and give it a close to normal shape without stretching the metal. So how do we get the last kinks out of this? Like right here, how do we get the last fold out?
Do the
We're
corkscrew.
going to use a body hammer and a dolly to do the last part. So which way does the dent go? Does it go inward or outward? Inward or outward?
No, it's
Inward. The dent goes inward. So we want to hit it from the back side. So we're going to put the dolly on this side right here, and we're going to drive the sheet metal out to it. What's referred to as hammer-on dolly technique. So we're going to hit this side here, going right down that dent, and we're going to have the dolly right behind it to reinforce it. Some of you are really used to hitting hard at this point. It doesn't have to be hit really hard. Let's go have a look at it. You can see where the hammer blows were. Run your hand on it, and that crease is now sticking out this way. And it's now below the surface, but it's nowhere near the dent it was. Okay? What else still remains? We got this dent right here, right? And another one right here. How would we take those out?
corkscrew.
Same way. So where would the dolly go?
Underneath again.
Where at?
Underneath again.
On
It
top.
wasn't underneath. It
Paint
was
side.
on
Paint side.
the outside, so it would go out here on the painted side. And we're going to hit it from the inside. So right here's where the other dent was. Put the dolly right behind it. But if you notice that I let the dolly fall away. Has an initial impact and then the dolly falls away. That's a way of keeping it from work hardening the sheet metal. If you hit it too hard, it's going to smash it together and make it brittle, make it expand. So now that buckle is gone. Okay? Any question on it? That's a rough half. The fender looks good from 10 feet, and that's close. We still have more detail work we do, but that's about it. Now it's your turn.